Hey guys, I'm John Setzler. Welcome back to the Kamado Joe cooking channel. Today we're going to fire up the classic and we're going to make some whiskey glazed chicken wings, and I'm going to use one of Chef Eric's sauces for a honey sriracha dip to go along with it. So let's get started. First thing we're going to do is make our honey sriracha sauce. So in a small saucepan, I'm going to put 1 cup of the sriracha sauce, and I'm going to follow that with 1/4 cup of white wine vinegar. I've got a tablespoon of soy sauce, a tablespoon of lime juice. I've got 3 cloves of finely minced garlic that I've run through my microplane grater, and I've got 1/4 cup of honey. And I'm just going to turn the heat on and we're going to bring that to a simmer. Now I've got one more small ingredient I forgot to add to that. We're going to add just about 1/4 teaspoon of fish sauce to that for a little bit of added umami. And I'm just going to stir all that up and bring it to a simmer. And just about as this shows that it's going to start to bubble a little bit, we're going to finish it off with 4 ounces of butter. That's a whole stick, or 8 tablespoons. And we're just going to turn the heat off now. Let that butter melt in there, and then we'll just stir that up. And this sauce will be ready. After that butter's melted, you'll want to taste this, and if you want to adjust the heat level, you can either add sriracha or add additional honey. Next thing we're going to do is make our whiskey glaze, and I'm going to start out with 1 cup of whiskey, 1/2 cup of maple syrup, 1/4 cup of brown sugar, and then just a pinch of cayenne pepper. And I'm going to stir that to get all that sugar dissolved, and I've got this over medium heat. We're going to bring this to a slow simmer, and we're going to reduce this to about a volume of 1 cup or so. Okay guys, I've let this reduce down to just a little less than 1 cup. I'm going to take this off the heat now, and we're just going to let it cool and let it ride at room temperature until we're ready to use it on the wings. Okay, we're going to fire up the classic here for a little low and slow cooking. I'm going to light up a fire starter cube here in the middle, and I'm going to let this burn for a few minutes with the lid open. And then I'm going to go ahead and set in my heat deflectors in the low position, and I'm going to set my grill racks in the upper position, and we're going to let the grill come up to a temperature of about somewhere between 200 and 225 to put a little bit of low and slow smoke on these wings to get started. In order to bring this grill up to somewhere between 200 and 250, I'm going to leave the bottom vent about halfway open. I'm going to leave the top vent all the way open until I start to get up around 175 or 180, and then I'm just going to come in and close the vent down until we stabilize it, like I said, somewhere under 250. Okay, I'm going to show you another way to save some money. Buy the whole wings. Don't buy the ones that are cut down already. They're easy enough to cut down yourself. The first thing you want to do is take the tip off and slice down to the bone, and you just want to bend this back until you see that joint pop open, which is right there, and then you'll just take your knife and come right down between there and cut that right off, and save that for stock or toss it out. And if you've got any scrap that needs to be trimmed off, go ahead and trim it. We're going to do the same thing in this joint. We're going to slice down through the skin to reveal the bone there, and we're just going to pop it back, and you can see that pops right open. We'll slice right down between those two, and then we've got the drumette and the wing. So I'm going to do that with the rest of our wings. Okay guys, our classic's coming up to just around 200 degrees here. I got a nice light smoke rolling, so we're going to dump these wings out here, and I'm just going to spread them out on the grill, and we're going to put smoke to these things at a low temperature here for about an hour. And while they're smoking, I'm going to hit them with just a little bit of a salt, pepper, and garlic blend. You can season these with whatever you like, but I wouldn't go too heavy on flavor because of the glaze that we're going to put on there. So we're going to close that up, and we're going to let them smoke for an hour. Okay guys, we've been going right at an hour here. I've got some smoke on these wings, so I am going to take them off and we're going to put them back in a clean bowl. Okay, I've put my wings in a bowl, and I'm going to take about half of that whiskey glaze that we made, and I'm going to put it in here, and we're just going to toss these in that and get them completely coated. And then we're going to do a little reconfiguring on the grill before we put these back on. And while nobody was looking, I took the heat deflectors out of the grill, and I put one of my racks on the low side and one of them on the high side. We're going to take these wings and we're going to give them a little char down here on the low side, and then we're going to move them up here and baste them with some additional sauce. So I'm going to open the grill back up, and we're just going to dump these wings right back on here over the direct side of the fire. And we're going to stay on these guys and keep them moving and try not to drop any into the grill. Okay, after I start to get some char on these and get them, you know, not overly charred and moved over to the higher side of the grill, we're going to take them back to our bowl. Okay, now that I've got them back in my bowl, we're going to put the rest of that whiskey glaze that we made on there. We're going to give them another good toss, and I'm going to bring both levels of the grill grate up to the upper position. We're going to put these back on there for just a couple more minutes, and then they'll be done. Okay, I've raised my grill grates up, so we're just going to dump these wings right back on there. We'll spread them out a little bit and just finish these up. You know, these guys, you can kind of tell when they're ready by looking at them, so just give them a char that you like, and when they are to the level where you like them, just take them back off the grill. Okay, and after just a couple of more minutes, these are done to my liking, so we're going to take them back off the grill. And then I've just plated these things up with a dipping bowl of that beautiful honey sriracha hot sauce, and we're all done. Guys, you're going to have to give this a try. Let me know what you think. This whiskey glaze is a phenomenal glaze. It's not only good on wings, it's good on salmon, it's good on ham, it's good on a whole lot of things. So keep this glaze in your repertoire. Follow us on Facebook, facebook.com/Kamado Joe, and follow us on Twitter @Kamado Joe. And until next time, this is John Setzler with Kamado Joe Cooking Channel.